Firefighting is probably one of the most rewarding things you could ever do.
When I started 20 years ago as a volunteer, I got in to help my community, and I would guess that's how everybody gets started in the fire service. You want to help somebody, you want to help your community, you want to do something.
It's something I've always wanted to do, to help out in the community. It's a great group of people, brotherhood, sisterhood, we refer to a lot.
The good thing about this training session is everybody here is your neighbor. We get departments and members from all of Lunenburg Regional.
Right, so this is where we'd have to start pulling our drywall.
Your head is below, or should be below, the thermal column that's coming out that window.
See, it says pumps engaged, then push drive.
We're hosting this year's Lunenburg Regional Fire and Emergency Services Training Day. This is probably our 4th annual one, and typically we bring departments in from all over Lunenburg County. It's offered to Chester County plus Queens County.
For me, my time is a premium, working shift work and being a volunteer. I spend a lot of time at the hall, and then to take a Saturday, you know, away from your family and everything, and all I had to do was drive to Bridgewater, well, to Dayspring, and you get fed, you get all this training, and with very knowledgeable instructors, and it was great. It was incredible.
Some people have a lot of experience. Some people have less opportunity to get experience because they're in stable communities that don't suffer a lot of fires. Some people have very little. Actually, in my volunteer company, we only have maybe 1 structural fire a year. So I tell the young guys there, so you better pay attention at training, because training is going to be basically everything that you have is going to come from your training sessions.
For the most part, they're going to have a lot of fun this afternoon. In the real situation, it's not so much fun, but they're going to know today, through some of the things that they learn and have fun this afternoon, that yes, I am capable of doing this, and it's extremely rewarding.
House fires are house fires, whether they're in Nova Scotia, whether they're in Long Island, or whether they're in New York City. A house fire has got some work that just has to get done. You have to stretch a hose line and force the front door and make a search and find the fire and the victims, and it's just a matter of how well your people are trained and how many people you bring along to the show.
90% of all your training is practical, but this year we also incorporated hands-on, which is very important. There's firefighters here who basically have never cut through a wall or breached a wall to save their own safety or to save a fellow firefighter. And this afternoon, and especially the RIT course and the thermal imaging camera, the students are actually going to be taking tools, whether it be an axe, Halligan bar, power saw, and actually they have to breach walls, smash windows, make doors, do whatever they have to do. And this is the only opportunity outside real structure fires who gets to do that.
If a ladder crew comes up with a ladder underneath of you, swing your body down around. Keep it, grab that.
Today I'm in the basic firefighter training. Right now we've been doing some different ways of rolling and unrolling the hose, and also putting it on the truck.
The class that I'm teaching is an officer development class, and it's a hodgepodge of a number of different classes. So we're covering things like what makes a good officer, what makes a good leader. We're going to cover incident command, and then we're going to cover fireground safety.
The pump course here, we're going through some basic principles on how to flow water, what's important when we flow water, a lot of the safety precautions. Most of the departments in Lunenburg County and Lunenburg Regional are rural departments. They require a lot of things called drafting, which is what we're doing behind us. So taking the water out of a lake or another water supply that's not pressurized is what most of these departments do. So they need to become good at it, realize what their limitations are. If they need to flow a lot of water, how do they do that? How do they do it safely? What tools do they need? Also, what some of the limitations of their trucks can be. Because a lot of times there's certain limitations that people don't think of, such as size of suction, certain types of strainers that can limit your water flow. And it's important to understand that on training sessions like this, as opposed to getting on the fire ground when you truly need the water.
funding for training for Lunenburg Regional Fire and Emergency Services. We get a grant every year from the municipality of Lunenburg, and this is one of the opportunities we have to put a day like today on. And like I said, it is expensive to put these things on, and this is where their money is being used.
Yeah, by far, the funding we get for this is the biggest bang of the buck you're going to get for training. In the pump course here, there's no cost to this. How often do you have the opportunity to get 5, 6 trucks together with all this equipment? Down here with what we've got sitting in this yard, we're probably talking better part of $2.5 million worth of gear here today, right in this site. So it's huge value for the money.
It's wonderful to have organizations and people in your community that can help you get some training. A lot of departments don't have any spare dollars or don't have any money for training. They can just do local training in the firehouse, which is all well and good, but when you have folks that can come across with some finances to help get some outside speakers in, that training sometimes is worth 10 times the training you can produce in your own fire station, because you're getting it from folks maybe that have more experience or different experience, or they're just experts in their own field, and you can get them in and spend a couple of days, and people can take a lot of learning away from the sessions.
Anybody can do it. You'll learn as you go. There's lots of support. There's no pressure to do anything that you don't feel like you can't do, that you feel like you can't do. Anybody can join the fire department. There's always a job for somebody.
You know, to come here and get this training, but it's to get out and mingle with the other departments in their own backyards, everybody right close together, to get to know how they do things and to let them know that we are out there and we're willing to come help them. Mutual aid is a big thing here in this area, and if they need us, New Germany's there to help, and I know they are there for us too.
Well, as far as the places that fund training days like this, where they're going to see results is when they dial 911, whether it be at their business or at their home. If fire departments didn't train and they weren't very efficient or very good at what they do, you'd see it when they show up. Fire departments that do train and are really good at what they do, when you dial 911, they show up, they put the fire out, or they help you with your emergency, and it's efficient and it's safe. When you dial 911, they'll see the results. That's what they're going to get out of it. They're going to get a good fire service.